for the $12,000 engine in his truck, and without that, he was out of work.
Now, tell me, sir, why did you stop making payments? You were making the payments to your father.
Ma'am, I never stopped making payments. As a matter of fact, I have a copy of all of my checks, and I also have a copy of check number 619 for $247.54, which I just called yesterday, and my bank says it has not cleared, which tells me that for some reason or another, Bruce does not want to cash the check.
Did you receive a check that you did not cash, sir?
I cashed it a couple days ago, yes.
So you did cash it?
I did.
Just a few days ago. So what are you doing here?
That was a check for March. At the time of our separation, he was living with me in my home.
I understand that.
And it came to a point where we came to some conflict.
I understand that. And he moved out, and he moved out. You told him to move out, and he was angry. But you've just cashed a check, sir, that he paid for. And he said he's paid for the truck and he intends to continue to honor the agreement. So what are you doing here?
That's not true.
What's not true?
The truth of the matter is that he sent me a check after we separated on March 19th. Sent me a check for partial payment on the March payment. At the day that we separated, when the papers were served by the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department, he verbalized that, and prior to that too, that I would never see the rest of that money.
Well, he was speaking out of the top of it, or, you know, he was speaking out of anger because he acknowledges that this is his debt, and he's acknowledged that in open court. Is that right, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. You understand, Mr. Noonamaker, that if you fail, now that we have an acknowledged debt, it doesn't have to be in writing anymore. It's an acknowledged debt under oath.
With no stipulations?
So, listen to me. It's an acknowledged debt under oath. You understand that if you fail to pay this debt, your father has a lien on your truck. Do you understand that? I want you to understand that.
No, I don't know that.
Well, then I am telling you that. Your father has a lien on your truck should you fail to pay it. It's exactly the same thing as if you had a written contract with him, a written loan agreement with him. Do I make myself clear?
Thus far, yes.
Good. I suggest, sir, that you make those payments on time every month.
Ma'am?
Yes.
May I add something? It's very important. Before I moved out, I told him that if he breached our agreement, he would not see it. And he said, that's fine. I'll take the loss to get you out of my life.
What are you talking about breach? Tell me.
The agreement was that I would continue to make payments and still live in his house and do my studies.
Well, that's what you wrote in your answer that I didn't believe when I read it in your answer. Are you telling me, sir, that when you called your father from the road in May of 2002 and said, Dad, I blew the engine on my truck and I don't have the finances to fix it. Can you lend me the money? And your father said yes. And what you want me to believe is, and you said to your father, and I will pay you back as long as you are nice to me, watch your temper, let me live in your house and continue my studies. And your father said yes, under those conditions I will... Stop speaking! Under those conditions, I will give you the $12,000. Is that what you want me to believe? Get a life.
We did not make an agreement, ma'am.
Listen to me, sir.
We did not discuss an agreement.
Listen to me, sir. I've just advised your son, under oath, your son has acknowledged this loan to you. There were no conditions on the loan. I find that there were no conditions on the loan. I will enter an order that should he miss 2 payments, you have leave to enter a judgment against him in the amount of the balance owed on the truck, and you may enter a lien against that truck in order to execute on it. You can sell it. Do you understand?
I do. What about the 2
months?
Goodbye. He has issues from his childhood that he's still trying to work through.
The animosity began, I don't know, years and years ago when he developed a chemical imbalance.
Chad left us once before for 3 years. We didn't know if he was alive or dead.
Bruce said that he would let the thing go, and then he sued me 2 days later. Can you understand why I was a little bit confused whether or not I was supposed to be making payments?
I didn't forgive the debt. I said, I'll have to deal with it in whatever fashion I have to go.
If you want to go upward, you have to get away from people that are trying to drag you down.
I hope that there's healing for Chad's spirit and our family.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Romero versus Clemens. Step forward, please.
Nurse Penny Romero is suing her ex-boyfriend's current wife, homemaker Connie Clemens, for selling a car belonging to her daughter.
Mrs. Romero, the defendant is your former husband's wife. Is that right?
It is his wife. He is not my ex-husband.
He is the father of your daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you were never married.
Correct.
This is his wife.
Yes.
And that's your daughter?
Yes, that's my daughter.
So this is your complaint. Where's the husband? You can stand up. Your complaint alleges that in 2001, you put down a down payment for a car for your daughter.
Yes.
And it was about $500. And at some point, she went to live with her father and his wife. When was that?
In 2002.
And she took the car with her.
Yes.
At the time she moved in with her father, she was how old?
17.
The car was sold or traded in, according to them, because your daughter got a new car. Did you get a new car?
Yes, I did.
While you were living with your father?
No, I got it this December. I was living on my own.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I have a few questions for you, so you can stand next to your mother. You want the money back that you put into the car?
Yes.
Okay. So this is going to be very fast. It's not going to be long. It's not very complicated. When you moved out of your mother's house, you took the car with you?
She wouldn't let me take it when I moved out, but then I called her and I said, this is the car I have. It's a pile of crap. I need that car back. And she said, okay, that's fine. She told me where it was, and Connie and my dad said we needed to pay off the money that was owed on it still. So they went in and paid off what was owed. They traded in my car, the car that I was driving at the time.
Just one second. So your mother first said that you couldn't have the car. She wouldn't let you take it with you. Is that right? Even though it had been a gift?
Yes.
Then you called and asked her whether or not you could please have it, and she said, well, I left it at somebody's garage or somebody's lot or whatever. And your father and his wife went in and paid off the rest of what was owed on the car.
Yeah.
Is that right? And
Yes.
how much was that?
Oh, I don't know what they paid
How much
in
was
cash.
that?
We traded her old car for it that we bought her because her mom wouldn't let her use that
Okay,
car.
so when you moved in with your father, they bought you a used car to get around him, but it wasn't a good one. Is that what you're telling
Yeah,
me?
yeah.
And then they traded that one in and
Yeah.
paid off the one that your mother had bought for you.
Yes.
Now you had the use of a better car.
Yes.
Excuse me,
And
Your Honor.
don't speak. Now, when you left your father's house, did you take the car with you?
Yeah.
And what happened to the car?
The heater broke in it, and it was winter, and the hood didn't latch, and the windows didn't seal, and the roof was falling off, and so I needed to get a new car.
And did you tell that to your father?
Yeah.
And what did you do? Did you trade it in?
No, I wasn't planning on doing anything with that car. That I was just going to buy this new car, and so I just left the car at their house.
And what did you do with the car?
We put it up for sale,
Okay. And how much did you sell it for?
$250.
Tell me your first name.
Susie.
Susie, you left the old car at their house.
Yeah.
What did you believe they were going to do with the car?
I didn't know anything. We were deciding if we were going to try and sell it and split the money. There was never anything decided.
Now, when they told you that they sold the car, had you known that they were...
I didn't know until right now that the car was even sold.
Okay, so the car is sold. Who did you sell the car to?
Just a family up in Grand Ron.
And what year car was this?
An 86.
So they got $250. Do you want the $250 back? It was your car.
It's not really important to me.
Right. I assumed not. You lived there and they sort of bought you one, traded in
Yeah,
one to
yeah.
get the other one. Now, my question, Ms. Romero, what makes you think you're entitled to $1,100 from these people?
Because when we originally bought the car, I went with Susie, we picked it out, I put the down payment on it, I made payments on it until she got to work. The agreement was we tried to get her a new car financed, we were going to sell the old car and split it, or either we were going to fix it for my 16-year-old son to drive.
You're not entitled to your money back. You made your daughter a gift. She could do whatever she wanted with the car. There's no strings attached to a gift. You bought your daughter a car. You bought it for her in 2001. That's 3 years ago. She's been through 2 cars since. I mean, get a life. Your case is dismissed.
I have a life.
Thank you.
Parties are excused when they step out.
I had a feeling it would go like this because it was a gift for...
I think the ruling was correct.
I don't care either way. I have a car, and that's all that I was looking for, was having a car that ran.
There's just always something that she brings us to court back and forth on.
This is how it's been forever.
We've been in a custody battle for over 3 years with 2 children.
My parents are usually doing something. I mean, we're usually in court over something.
Yeah, it's ongoing, and I wish it would stop.
This is it. This is it. We're done now.
It's fine. We're just going to keep on going.
Court come to order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Case 2162, Newton versus Estrada.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Newton, you retained the services of Mr. Estrada to make you a costume.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was, according to your complaint, you make a living as an influencer?
Yes, ma'am. I produce content.
Now, Sarah has actually tried to explain that to me, what that is. And I think the kindergarten version of what she told me is you are on the internet, and your idea is to get as many people to follow the things that you do in your life as possible. And you post on the internet.
What is your...
your pictures doing whatever you're doing. And then when you have enough people, advertisers, people who make products, pay you to tout their products one way or another, and that's how you make a living.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
No problem. Anytime.
Okay. So you don't produce anything, you just being you.
Well, no, but I do own 3 companies, and one of them is a social media advertising company. So it's important to meet and mingle with as many people as possible.
I get that, but it's all to support your primary function.
Yes, ma'am.
As we had a case years and years ago, it was one of my favorites. It was a guy who was being supported by a woman, and quite frankly, I couldn't see what this perfectly delightful, productive woman, what she saw in this guy. But I said, she gives you this, she pays you rent, she pays for your food. What does she get in return? And I'll never forget his answer. He said, she gets a me. So I don't know why that came to mind when you're talking about being an influencer. What do you, how does that happen? Anyway, you asked Mr. Estrada to do a costume for you. You like to go to events. I don't have to hear all about it. I sort of understand it a little bit now. You contracted with him to make this costume for you for $1,000. You paid him a $500 deposit. He delivered the costume, albeit he delivered it a little late, but you accepted it, and then you didn't pay him for it because you say it was not made well.
Yes.
And you have the costume now.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay. In addition to the costume, you gave him another costume that you wanted him to just put another applique on of something. It was a relatively minor thing.
Glue something.
Whatever. You asked him to do something. It was work. He's not your brother, uncle, father. You're not related to him. That's his business. And when you refused to pay him the balance of the costume that he made for you, he has the other costume, and he says, when you pay me, you can get your costume back. Am I clear?
Yes, but we have talked about creating multiple different costumes in the future, and every single time there was a dollar amount mentioned. This was never discussed. Okay. You discuss it prior, but that was never discussed.
Well, that's true. And whose fault is that?
It was never brought up. But
No. Whose fault is that?
I assume...
No, just a second. If the complaint about the costume that he was just supposed to put an applique on of some sort of a creature, a spider or something, if you gave it to him, and this is his business, then you say, how much is it? So I'm just letting you foment that in your head, sir. When did you order this costume from him for $1,000?
August 7th.
And he delivered it in October.
October 8th, I believe.
And what was wrong with it?
Many, many things.
Just say you have it with you.
I have every single bit of the costume with me.
I'd like to see it.
You like one piece at a time?
No, just a second. That's a boot. What else?
This glove.
Just a second, that's a glove.
Yes.
Okay.
And he actually has plenty of pictures that he sent me in the chat that he was actually making the glove himself. This comes from a costume store from the main movie that this comes from.
Okay,
and it came out in 2005. He sold me a glove that was almost 20 years old, and he said he was making me one.
Okay, keep going.
And this belt right here, I only tried it on once to see how everything fit, and by the time I tried to take the belt off and on, it broke between 20 minutes of use in the house, just testing it out in the mirror.
I just want to see that. I see boots. I see a glove.
Right there.
Looks perfectly normal to me. And that's put on with Velcro.
Yes.
No big deal. You put on another piece of Velcro. That's a substantial belt. Put it back. What's your next complaint?
Well, number one, not only did
Just a second. I don't want to see the glove anymore. I saw the glove. I saw the boot. I saw the belt.
Well,
Where's the rest of the costume?
Here's the other boot.
Just a second. Hey, where's the rest of the costume?
We don't have a mannequin or something we could put this on? We don't have a mannequin or something we could put this on?
We could put it on him. Put it on him. Ask him to put it on. I want to see what's wrong with it. It's a costume.
Newton claims costume designer Robert Estrada sent him a poorly made superhero costume. Robert is countersuing for the balance owed on the costume.
Okay, now, would you do me a favor? Just put the belt on. I know that you can't use the Velcro because a piece of the Velcro came off. Put the belt around. I just want to see how the belt's supposed to go.
For the record, it doesn't go like
Just
this.
a second. I didn't ask you anything. I just said put it on. No, you have.
It's actually really difficult with this robe on.
Now turn around. Oh, okay. Very good. Now you can take all the show and tell away, and you can take it off.
Your Honor, if I could say something.
You don't have to say anything. I've seen the costume for which he wanted to charge you $1,000.
Well, there's still more.
Yeah, but you don't want to put that on now, because
No,
you don't have to put that on again.
You have to put on. We're looking at the sew-manship. This should be one continuous piece.
Mr. Newton, get a life. Get a life. Get rid of that stuff. Put it over there on that chair. This is not a $25,000 costume. It's a $1,000 costume. If you go into a store to buy any costume, without boots, without leather glove, it's a couple of $100. Not made. And if you don't like the way it was made, don't use the services again. According to what I read, you have lots of costumes.
I have two. The one there and the one that he brought of my possession.
Oh, okay, so you just have two costumes.
Yeah.
Great, now you have two. Now you pay him $500 for the costume that he made for you. That's the balance that you owe him for the costume. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the...
I'm not accepting the costume because it's
Just a
not
second.
up to my...
That's why you're in court, sir. I don't care whether you like it or not. Don't use his services again. He made it. You bought it. Based upon my view of that, it may not be perfect.
I paid for it to be perfect. That's
Just
the
a
reason
second.
why I bought it.
Just a second. I like a lot of things perfect, sir.
There's a
Life
reason
is
why I
not.
bought it.
Life is not perfect. You're going to pay him for the costume.
I paid for
No,
perfection.
you're going to pay him for the costume. That's it. That's why you're here, for me to make a judgment. If I looked at this thing and didn't think that, for instance, when you sent him those boots, were the soles falling off the boots?
No, they will not.
I didn't think so. That's for my benefit. He's going to pay you the $500 that he owes you for the costume.
The belt wasn't.
And then he bought it.
The belt wasn't falling apart either, but one use, and within 20 minutes of trying it on, and voila.
Just a second, Mr. Newton. I'm done with that. I'm on to the next gig. I'm on to your other costume that he was supposed to put an applique on. You have that costume?
I do.
Very good. Now, I want to tell you something. He didn't send those boots with soles off.
They don't fall off by themselves.
Just a second. No, they don't fall off by themselves.
And I didn't wear it anywhere.
I don't care whether you wore it anywhere, and I know they don't fall off by themselves, and he didn't send them that way. So you figure out, let the people out here figure out what's in my head, how the soles came off both of those shoes.
You can tell me why one piece of the costume has a bigger arm than the other.
Listen to me. I'm not hearing you anymore.
I don't think you're being very fair.
Listen.
Just to be
They
fair.
said it-
I'm a big fan of you, but I don't think you're very fair right now.
It's not a popularity contest, sir. You bought something. I bought
There's
many
also
things.
principle involved,
This is not.
which is
this
why
is
I
not.
decided to
This
take
is
this to
not.
court.
This is not.
Principle.
You're out. You're gone. Goodbye. Your case is dismissed. Do you want your costume back?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. How much was it to put the applique on it?
It was $100.
$100. Very good. Judgment on the counterclaim, $600. He gets the costume back.
Yes.
You understand? We're
Completely.
done.
Thank you.
Court is adjourned.
I paid a pretty penny for something that was just fabric and boots.
I tried to explain how the costume works, and unfortunately, he didn't really listen. He doesn't listen.
It's one of my favorite things of all time. I've always wanted it.
Well, I gave him what he wanted, but when I delivered it, he actually didn't take the time to hear me tell him how the suit goes on.
So what do you think the likelihood is that the defendant shipped those boots with the soles the way we saw them in court today?
0.
I totally agree. I think that the plaintiff thought it would help his case to have a little bit more destroyed of a costume than
drama.
Maybe it was, and doesn't look good for him.
Actually, I thought that what was sent, the boots were substantial. There's no question that he dislodged the soles from them before he came here. The belt was a really substantial belt. What he was complaining about was a piece of Velcro.
And it's a costume belt. Velcro comes off. The clasp
Yeah, and you
come
put it
undone.
back on.
You just super glue it back on.
Absolutely right. There was clearly $1,000 worth of work that went into that costume and putting it together with the boots and the belt and the glove. It was really sort of outrageous that he didn't pay it. Anyway, made my life easy, besides the fact that he was a nudnik.
Terry Smith is suing her ex-husband, Tony Smith, for 3 ATVs and a lawnmower.
Court current order. All rise.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case number 2148, Smith versus Smith.
Thank you. You're welcome. Miss Smith, this used to be your husband. You haven't been married in a long time, but after your divorce, you sort of remained friendly and you had some business transactions together. What kind of business?
I would refer real estate business to him and refer flipping homes and the construction work.
Did you take part in that as well?
I did.
In what year were you divorced?
2015.
So this briefly is what I gather from the complaint and the answer and the counterclaim. At some point, according to you, you purchased 3 ATVs. Those 3 ATVs were originally supposed to be used in business.
We purchased more than 3.
How many did you purchase?
Those were the 3 that were left. It was 14 of them that we had.
And when you purchased those together as part of a business?
No, those were mine. I purchased it. The business.
14.
Business was mine. Yes.
14?
Yes.
You purchased them, you paid for them?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and you can prove that to me?
I can.
Okay. Do you agree with the fact your former wife purchased the 14 ATVs?
Yes, I agree, but it was underneath an LLC that was formed.
I don't care whether it was under an LLC or a little umbrella or a big shoe. She bought the ATVs.
Yes.
So one of the things that's in question is the ATVs now are in your custody?
The remaining ones are in my home, yes.
3?
Yes, ma'am.
And you want them back?
I do.
She bought them. Why doesn't she get them back?
Because, Your Honor, there is an outstanding invoice for work that I have done for her.
What?
It's construction work and other odds and ends that was helping her.
That's not part of your counterclaim as a set-off, sir. That's not what you say at all.
Okay, and also there is a counterclaim.
You have a counterclaim. That has to do with your truck. So there really is no reason that you are holding those ATVs. Are they new?
No, they were demonstrator models. There's 1 new one and 2 demonstrators.
Okay, so within 5 days, you make arrangements to get those, okay? I assume that you have children together?
No.
So I assume that you are 2 civilized people. I don't know whether you need a police officer to accompany you to get those, but within 5 days, make arrangements to pick them up from his house. They're yours.
I will, thank you.
Are we then finished with your claim?
Now, there's a lawnmower, an electric zero-turn lawnmower. Okay. It's also part of that claim.
Okay. I sort of remember that. Is that an old lawnmower?
No, it was purchased in May of 2021.
And who was it purchased for?
He asked me, since he could not get it on credit, if I would buy it for him, and the next real estate transaction that I referred him, he said when he got paid, he would pay me the $4,800 back.
Okay.
And so when I asked for it, he said he had put it in a separate savings account to save it for me. And I said, well, I don't need you to save me my money.
Got it. So you have the lawnmower?
Yes, ma'am.
You picked that up with the ATVs?
Thank you.
Got it?
Thank you.
Perfect. Now we have to come to your counterclaim. Your counterclaim is sort of interesting and can be, I think, probably equally swiftly disposed of. After your divorce, you needed a truck. you didn't have any money or credit, according to what I've read, and you purchased a truck in your name for him. And the agreement was that you would make the payments on the truck because you couldn't get credit. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
The truck was purchased in what month and year?
August of 2020.
How much did the truck cost?
$58,000, somewhere in there.
And how much of a down payment did you put down?
$500.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's good. You must have had good credit.
I do.
Good. And what were the monthly payments, sir?
900 and I can't remember exactly. It was under $1,000. It was $940 something, I think.
And you paid for the truck the month of August of 2020 and all through 2021. Until when? When was your last payment on the truck that you made, that you can prove to me that you made?
I have all the payments.
Just tell me, when was the last payment you made on the truck?
It was August of this year.
August of 2022.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what your bank records will indicate, that you made a payment of $900 and some odd, August of 2022. And in what month did your former wife repossess the truck, which was in her name?
It was September 20th.
Now you're going to tell me why you repossessed the truck. Let's talk about the violations. Driving without tags, only 2 months. When we forget or we're traveling and we don't get registrations for our cars, we don't drive those cars. Because if you're driving with expired tags, that's against the law.
Terry Smith claims her ex-husband, Tony Smith, owes for 3 ATVs and a lawnmower. Tony is countersuing for the value of a truck.
Okay, you made a payment of $900 and some odd.
Yes, ma'am.
August of 2022. And in what month did your former wife repossess the truck, which was in her name?
It was September 20th.
Okay, now you're going to tell me why you repossessed the truck.
Yes, that truck's first payment was due on October 30th of 2020. I made the payment on November 28th.
No, I'm not interested in history.
Okay.
I'm interested in, he says that he was making payments on the truck. You say he stopped making payments on the truck, which is why you repossessed it. You didn't want your credit to be at risk.
It was 2 of the first payments that I made, and I said, I'm not doing this again like I did on the last truck where I make every payment. But the insurance, I asked for the insurance to be paid since April of 2020, and I requested this on June the 28th of 2022, and I said, here's the insurance premiums I've paid on the GMC truck since we've had it, and it was $1,596. His reply was, I'm happy to pay the insurance on my truck, but don't just dump 2.5 years on me at a time. I will need to break this up into 3 increments. This was June. I don't have any money. The insurance and taxes, the taxes this year is the first time he's ever paid taxes on the vehicle, and it was 1 year late. He drove on an expired tag for a total year. The reason
Is that just a second, is that correct?
I'm sorry?
Did you drive on an expired tag
No,
for a
ma'am.
year?
It was only a few months late.
So you drove
It wasn't an entire year.
How many months?
2 months.
Oh, that's too long.
I agree.
And was your agreement that you would maintain the insurance for the truck as well?
That was something that we discussed.